Hey, hello everyone. Jerry Tabbat with you again here for this edition of Military Minutes, and it's a good one today. A very special two guests we have for you. Talk about a program that's right here in our area that's been here for about 6 years now, and even me, as a retired military veteran here, didn't know we had that. First of all, we have Joanne Devine with us, who is with Journey Pure, of course, that's the program, TRICARE Treatment Placement Coordinator. And then to my right is Dr. Nelson A. Pichard, who is an MD, and he is a board-certified psychiatrist, addictive medicine with the Freedom Program. So a lot to talk about today, and I'm so excited to have both of you here. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Joanne, let's just start with you. What are we talking about this program here?
Sure, absolutely. Well, thank you for having us. So Journey Pure started about 6 years ago, and we have several facilities across the southeast region of TRICARE. The closest one to us here is, like you said, in Panama City Beach. We have 64 beds. We do detox, we do inpatient, we do PHP level of care, which is day treatment, and then intensive outpatient programming. But we're here actually today to talk about our military, our veterans, and so we'll talk about the Freedom Program. So when Journey Pure decided to go in network with TRICARE and Veterans Choice Program, they were very specific and intentional. They wanted to have a staff like Dr. Pichardo and myself who had military runs deep in our veins.
Right.
And so we designed a program called the Freedom Program to help with those who struggle from the dual impact of addiction and PTSD. And so we bring folks in from all military bases in the southeast region of TRICARE. We also bring our veterans in. And so we bring them in, they're assessed they'll have an evaluation for addiction as well as the psychiatry portion, which Dr. Pichardo will talk about in just a minute. And then they stay with us for about anywhere from like 30 to 35 days. And then, and so we work on those areas where they struggle, both chemically, emotionally, and mentally. So while we're doing that, we're also want to include the family in that, because the family is a big component, very important, because we can do our best work with the individual. We can teach them the skills on how to live life without the use of a substance. But then if we send them back to that family that's enmeshed, that's codependent, then we're doing the family and the individual a huge injustice. So we want to include the family as well. So we have a very strong family program. And what we do is we invite the family out. We spend about a day and a half with them. We teach them some skills, and then we process everything that's going on with them. In addition to that, we also, Journey Pure, setting the standard in addiction medicine, wanted to do something that was a little bit different than a lot of the other treatment centers. And what we do is we have certified addiction recovery coaches that will build a rapport with the clients while they're inpatient. And then they call them every single week for up to a year after they're out of treatment. Now, in addition to that, we also have the Journey Pure coaching app, which is free to everyone who comes in for treatment. And what that is we get them started with it while they're in treatment, and they're doing a daily check-in. So they're checking in and saying, I'm going to meetings, or I'm doing community service, or how am I doing, and they're rating. Have you gone to a hospital after treatment, and they have that for a year. Now, say John has been doing this for like, say, 4 months, and then he kind of dwindles down. A flag goes up and we're reaching out to John, And so these are huge because we want them to know that the support doesn't stop after they leave.
And that's one of the things, Joanne, is that support. There's so many of our veterans, and my wife and I do a lot of work with the veterans in that, and they think like there's nothing. They're all alone. They don't think anybody loves them. They don't know what's going on. But when they get into programs like this, all of a sudden they realize they're okay. They're okay. They just have a few problems like everybody else does. So that's good. Not only do you take care of the individual, but you do the group, which is really important for the family. We'll get back to you in just a second on a little more of that. But Dr. Pichardo, you were on active duty service for 14 years, Air Force, go Air Force, and you're certified in psychiatry and addiction medicine. So being around this, even as you've been in your active duty career and everything, you have a little bit better understanding than some people do about our military. So what are some of the things that you're working with our veterans, not only our veterans, but our active duty people too under TRICARE?
It's such a complex issue with our military population, the veterans as well as the active duty. As we know, we have a lot of our soldiers, they're coming back and they're coming back broken, PTSD, depression, which is affecting every single aspects of their life, their relationship with their job functioning, how they interact with the world, with society. As well as the veterans, when they lose that brotherhood, that connection, they get lost.
Yes.
You know, and it's very acceptable, at least in the military community, to just start using alcohol and drinking. And it's part of our culture. It was part of our culture, but the problem is it starts getting out of control, start getting out of hand, and then it starts affecting them in every single aspect. And some of them, you will see, they lose everything, and you see them living in the street, and they don't have where to go, and suicide rates are increasing.
Yes.
We have an incredible suicide rate in our veterans as well as active duty, which is something that is sad to know that we're losing them. And a lot of them, we're losing them because of addiction and not knowing how to deal with it. And because addiction has such a stigma, because the public is so under-educated on what addiction is. And they don't see it as a disease or a chronic condition. They see it just as something that you just do because you want to do it.
Treat it with a pill, and treating it with a pill is not the answer, because it aggravates the situation.
Exactly. It takes away the coping skills that you have developed. They become completely handicapped because now they have something that they can just drown whatever demons they're dealing with. So what we're trying to do here in Journey Pure is we are trying to have this wraparound service. When we get them, we do a thorough evaluation. We are looking not just at the addiction component, but also what is driving the addiction. What came first? Is it mental illness? Is it addiction, mental illness? Because we want to find the root. We don't want to just medicate the superficial. We want to find the root. To be able to fix that addiction. If they're self-medicating or so if they're PTSD, we have a group of therapists now, social workers trained in trauma therapy, CBT, CPT, learning exposure therapy, learning for them to be able to start exposing them, helping them deal with their trauma. At the same time, that starts helping them with the action addiction. It releases a lot of the anxiety and the paranoia and the hypervigilance they have. So that's when we start working. So when you look at the program, we'll get them from the detox component. This is where we start evaluating them. We see what they need. We already assign a therapist for them. We have a group of therapists that are prior military as well. We have recovery coaches that also they were military and they're also in recovery.
Sure.
So they understand, they know what is happening, because you want to have an empathetic approach. You want to grab them, you want to engage them, you want to retain them. That is the key is to retain them. It is shown that the longer we can keep them in one of its facility, the better the outcome.
Absolutely.
That's what makes the difference between any other hospital. They get him, they detox him, they let him go, and they go back again.
You do the one-on-one type treatment. Now, a lot of different things are going on, but we know also that it costs money. However, that's where TRICARE steps in, and that's where the VA steps in.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
So we are in network with TRICARE all across the Southeast region. And what that means is that we can help folks from Texas all the way through Maine under TRICARE. Now, we are also approved providers for TriWest, which a lot of people get confused with that. TriWest it works for the folks that are VA beneficiaries. They go to the VA and they can go under the Mission Act or, say, the Veterans Choice. And so we bring people in who are unable to maybe get into a VA hospital, like such as Biloxi or one of the inpatient VAs. They're able to come to us. And it's amazing because there's so many veterans out there who struggle, and they may not necessarily have insurance, but they do have VA benefits, and that's huge. So we're able to help that population.
And that's what's so good about it is our veterans, even our active duty, we feel like we have to do things by ourselves. but you've earned these benefits, guys and
Absolutely.
gals. You might as well take advantage of them. All right, Dr. Pritchard, what are some signs, like say I was with a military friend or something like that. What are some signs that I should look for that maybe I should try and lead them over to you?
One is very subtle signs. One is hygiene. Hygiene is very important. When you start not caring, and when you start falling in any kind of addiction, especially alcohol, you start not taking care of yourself. So hygiene is a big one. Nutrition. They stop eating because alcohol gives them enough fuel for them to function.
Sure.
Careness. You can start seeing if you had somebody that was taking care of their house and the grass was nice and clean. Now nice and cut. Now you see the grass is not taken care of. The car is dirty. Those kind of subtle signs. Isolation. Isolation is one of the big ones. When we begin drinking it's a social event.
Right. Right.
It's like becoming problematic when you're isolating and you're just going to the store, you're buying and just isolating. Irritability, avoidance. Those are the most subtle signs of addiction, as well with whatever else they're dealing with. If they're, they start having problem with anger, irritability, fighting with their wife, even domestic violence and child abuse, you can also see in that. So those are when they start getting out of control, and that's a very, very, very big. It's very sad because the public is not that well educated, and what the majority of the public do, they just look away.
Right, and that's one of the reasons I believe we have so many homeless veterans out there.
Exactly.
Is because they're proud and no one seems to want to get involved with them. All right, we could go on, but we got like 2 minutes left to go. How would someone, Joanne, approach you and say, okay, I need help? What's the steps to get into your treatment program?
Sure, absolutely. So we have our admissions department. We have dedicated lines that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You can go ahead and give that number if
wonderful.
you want to.
If they want to reach out, they can call area code 615-987-5002, or they can call me directly at area code 850-333-3604, and I'd be happy to step them along the way.
And what's a website that they can?
Sure, it's www.journeypure.com.
Okay, and all of that information that you just gave out, that'll be, of course, on the college YouTube channel, and you can go look at that. All right, very quickly then, Dr. Pritchard, what's your success rate over there?
Since our program took over in the year, I've been working in Journey for a year. Right now, our comeback rate is almost less than 20%.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, where are you located again, Joanne? So people can come by if they want to. Is it okay just to drive up and say hi? And
absolutely,
okay.
But I would absolutely
prefer
that they give me a call. We are located at 22219 Panama City Beach Parkway in Panama City Beach, Florida, 32413.
Yeah, and that's just west of Highway 79 a little bit as you're headed towards Destin. You can't miss it over there. We're out of time. This has really gone by quickly. I wish we could talk more about it. We may get you back in for another session on this. But Joanne Devine, thank you so much for what you, Dr. Pritchard. Thank you. I appreciate it, and thanks for helping out our veterans.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
That'll do it for this edition of Military Minute. I'm Jerry Tabbat. We'll see you later. Have a great day, everyone.